Imagine that our Earth is just two boxes, one of which is labeled masculine and the other is labeled feminine. On Earth, this is how we categorize each other. If we are born male, then we are supposed to be masculine. And if we are born female, then we must be feminine. It is something that is ingrained in us, from the blue and pink baby clothes we wear to the propaganda we see in commercials.
Those who are born as a male are supposed to be aggressive, courageous, confident, violent, strong, disorganized, and demanding, while those born as females are emotional, moody, talkative, sensitive, protective, caring, manipulative, etc. And if you dare to leave your box and go to the other, then people see you as weird. You're made fun of. Ew, you're gay? Or aren't you a guy? And in the end, all you can do to stop it is to go back to the box that those people think you belong in. Suddenly, that box is a prison with constant guards that will use any force from hateful words to violence to keep you within its gates.
But why do we need these boxes, these prisons? Why are our emotions and impulses supposed to be based solely on physical attributes that we can't even control? Why is being who you are so weird or wrong to others? Just imagine if the world was without these barriers, where we could all be who we want without fear of being discriminated against, where instead of people trying to keep the gates closed, they open them and welcome people through them, where everyone can love who they want and we all treat each other as not a male or female, but as humans, just as how you yourself would want to be treated, where we are all treated as people with emotions and feelings. But the thing is, that isn't how our world is. In fact, our world isn't anywhere close to that.
People who decide that they aren't the gender they were meant to be, and whose sexual orientation rivals that of which society dictates, are constantly discriminated against, and denied rights that any human should be entitled to. This is despite the fact that in the United States alone, over 9 million people identify as homosexual or bisexual, while over 700,000 identify as transgender. Because of their choices, homosexuals and bisexuals are 10 times more likely to be discriminated against.
This includes even students. About 61% of LGBT students feel unsafe at school because of their sexual orientation, and about 40% feel unsafe because of their gender expression. It was also reported that over 85% of LGBT students are verbally harassed, and 40% are physically harassed, while about 19% are physically assaulted for their sexual orientation.
The uneasiness and dangers that these students face often cause them to skip classes in fear of discrimination. This also causes an increase in depression and 6 times higher risk of suicide. But discrimination doesn't stop at school. It is often traced to home too. Almost half of LGBT teens have a negative reaction from their parents. 30% experience physical abuse, and 26% are even kicked out of their own house. Because of this, LGBT children comprise 40% of all homeless youth, mainly caused from family rejection.
Later on in life, LGBTs who reported family rejection were 6 times more likely to show signs of depression, 3 times more likely to use illegal drugs to escape their problems, and as much as 8 times more likely to have attempted suicide than those that were not rejected as a young adult. Also, as an LGBT person gets older, the discrimination enters even the workplace. It is shown that job applicants that were associated with a gay organization were only 40% likely to be called in for an interview.
One study showed that out of the 7,000 LGBTs that were interviewed, 90% reported harassment or discrimination at their workplace, and another showed that an openly gay adult is 4 times more likely to experience discrimination at their workplace than those whose sexuality was hidden. Furthermore, LGBTs who experience workplace harassment and discrimination have higher chances of health-related problems and higher levels of psychological distress. Compared to the LGBTs who haven't experienced discrimination at their workplace, there are also signs of less job satisfaction, higher rates of absence, and more frequent contemplation of quitting. These statistics don't stop there, and they won't if we just sit back and accept this mistreatment.
We should be working for the world that we talked about in the beginning, where we all treat each other as equals. Gender is someone's genetic makeup, not the definition for their entire personality. If you want to help the LGBT community in different ways, then you can visit Gleason.org and donate to the largest national organization focused on ending homophobia in K-12 that is made up of students, educators, parents, and other kinds of concerned citizens, so that they too can keep working for a better world.